Hello everyone, welcome back, and today we have the Hungarian race review. The preview didn't do too well, so the review should hopefully do better because we have, as per usual, Mr. Eoghan Murray.
How are you?
Very quiet there.
You should be watching NASCAR instead.
Yes, that old NASCAR stuff. Alright, so let's get straight into it then. Qualifying was really no great shakes. Mercedes basically dominating. Racing Points having pretty good pace overall. Ferraris then on the third row, and Verstappen and Red Bull actually having a really terrible qualifying session, 7th and 13th for Alex Albon, so very disappointing from him. But we're going to start off with Mercedes. A good performance, Owen?
Boringness, especially Mercedes. Can we give them some handicap where they have to carry around some dead weight like an English royalty or something? Just slow them down a bit.
Well, yeah, they were.
It'd make it much more interesting.
They were very.
Especially seeing this queen on top of an F1 car.
Yeah, they were quite quick, as per usual. Lewis Hamilton, pretty dominant performance overall. I mean, nothing too great shakes. Bottas had a pretty terrible start, dropping down to about P6. What do you think about that? Obviously, the drive-through penalty that he didn't get for jumping the start. What's your take on that one? Do you think he should have got a penalty?
No, No, he kind of gave himself a penalty at the beginning. Because he jumped like about a few centimetres and then immediately jammed on the brake, and then everyone went. So he kind of gave himself a bit of a disadvantage to us. I'd say that's why I didn't give it to him.
Yeah,
He basically did it to himself.
Yeah, I think that is what the stewards actually kind of said after that. That is pretty fair. It's personally, I think from a Ferrari fan point of view, yeah, I probably should have got a penalty, but I think overall, yeah, I think it was fair from the stewards not to.
I think Ferrari should just get a penalty for turning up and not crashing into each other. That's just me.
Well, let's actually talk about Ferrari then. A pretty poor performance from Charles Leclerc. Going on to the soft compound tyre.
It's better than what they did last week.
It is an awful lot better than what they did last week. Vettel P6 or possibly I can't remember.
They finished.
They did finish, but Charles was outside the points.
Yeah, by one, he was 11th.
Yeah, getting overtaken by his teammate for next season. Okay. We'll go on to Red Bull, so. Shocking qualifying performance, as we said, but in the race, actually even before the race, a little bit of controversy happened, didn't it?
Yeah, they produced the most interesting thing of the race before it even started. He managed to... I think what happened when he's going around that corner is the front left either locked up or the suspension went. I can't remember what they said. But it looked like that one was locked up and then he slid into the wall.
Yeah, it was obviously they were on inters and had nobody really went out at that stage, locking up into the barriers and crashing. We don't have a photo of it right now, but yeah, I mean it was amazing. It was a miracle that they got the car back to the grid and then to actually fix it.
And like when he was pulling away, the wheel, if he didn't keep it exactly straight and he tried to turn left and back right, the wheel would have stayed left. It was completely broken off. It was just hanging on. I don't even know what the hell it was hanging on by.
Yeah, very, very lucky.
Something.
Very lucky indeed.
Yeah.
We'll go on to Williams then. No points for the third race. What do you think about their pace really quickly? Any major developments? Do you think maybe a points finish is possible for the coming races?
Both dead last. So that's anything to point out. That they're both like second last and last. That's just, how did you manage to do that?
Yeah.
Lafitte is 5 laps behind the leader.
Ooh, that is
that's just ridiculous.
That is pretty poor actually when you put it like that. He did have a little bit of contact at the start. Not fantastic for him and spinning a few times as well. not the best at all. What about Alfa Romeo then? Kimi Raikkonen qualifying for the first time ever in his career last because of pace, pure pace. That Alfa Romeo with that Ferrari engine, and actually the Ferrari engines in general, really struggling. What is your take on that? Is that just because of the engine, or do you think that's maybe the aero package on that Alfa as well?
I don't know. All he managed to do was 17th, which is third last. So, yeah.
Well, at least
He would have been. But they managed to do a race. I'll give him that. He managed to do a race, finished it, which is more than the rest of Ferraris could do with the engine. So,
yeah,
it's a miracle. It's also built by Alfa Romeo, so it's quite surprising it didn't break down.
yeah, that is very true. Go on to the Haas cars then. A masterstroke in strategy. It has to be said, overtook both the Ferraris. Obviously pitting in at the starting from the pit lane, but pitting before the race started for soft compound tires. Their pace kind of went away through the race, but they did manage. I think one of the cars did actually finish in the points. Just
Yeah, Magnussen in 10th, just above Leclerc. Just kicking out Leclerc for his points.
Well, there you go. Pretty impressive performance from them.
And then the other one. And then Grosjean just 16th, so not really. But yeah, it's not bad.
Not bad considering obviously the double retirement in the first race and then just poor performance in the second.
Yeah, true. But they only have 1 point now.
That is fair. So it means now that Williams are the only team not to actually score. Let's talk then about McLaren. Very two good opening races, but the pace not really there.
I would have thought Norris would have come up with something a bit better. He's 13th. He's 3 positions off points, and then Sanders Jr. is only 9th, so he only gets 2 points.
Yeah, not fantastic.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so next on about Renault, a pretty okay performance from them, a little bit more reliable than the past 2 races.
Well, they managed to get more points, but I don't think it was much better performance. Just managed to get Ricciardo managed to get a position up on Sanchez Jr. And then Ocon managed to get 40. So it's not much better than the McLaren, but it is better in points.
That's a fair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair. We'll talk about the racing points then. Very good qualifying, qualifying the Ferraris, quite comfortably as well. Obviously, the tracing point or Mercedes W10. Well, yeah, and this isn't very hard. Actually, Toto Wolff now saying that they are the Pink Floyds. Anybody getting that reference? There you are. In the race, though, they just fell away. Strategy or what's your take on them?
Well, they didn't do too badly compared with most other teams. Like, Stroll managed to finish before Albon, and then Perez was 7th, so it wasn't too bad. They managed to get 18 points out of the race, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, that is fair. I mean, obviously Stroll complaining, as per usual, because his father brought him into Formula 1, but complaining that possibly a podium would have been achievable if they had a better strategy or even a slightly better car, although I don't really think you can complain about the car.
Or if he was a better driver.
Exactly. We'll move on lastly then to...
Canadians supposed to be nice.
They are meant to be nice, but they're all rich.
Yeah.
In fairness, they are. I have been to Canada and they're actually quite nice people. But most of the time. Right, then AlphaTauri. Gasly retiring from an engine kind of problem about a fire or a bit smoky.
Fire. That's what I heard. Which is burnt. But yeah. Then the Russian caveat or whatever you pronounce that. 12th, which isn't too bad for a Russian. Not cheating either. So yeah.
I at this stage, anybody who's Russian watching my videos, you know that we don't mean that. Well, he probably does, but anyway. Let's move on from that. Oh no.
Hopefully he does have ties to the KGB and just gets Hamilton just fucking thrown off a cliff or something.
That would be quite. Actually, I would watch that. Let's boycott Formula One and watch that instead. That's an awful lot better. That is. Yeah. So that is gonna round it up for today. Any other bits of news that regarding Formula One that interest you over the weekend?
Well, I haven't heard any more on that Renault giving out about. Who was it? Who did they give out last time?
Racing Point.
Whoever they were giving out about the French. Yes, I didn't hear any more on that.
Yeah, no, I think the FIA are still looking at that, but yeah. Yeah, overall.
And I would like to point out, since their last race, Norris has lost his Mad Max. Yeah, he's just lost that title. He came 13th. He's a disgrace.
Well, yeah, pretty shocking performance from
I think
McLaren.
that's kind of it.
Yeah, I think that is going to round us out for today. Thank you, Mr. Owen, and we will be back next.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We'll be back next Monday with. Actually, no, we won't. It'll be 2 weeks until you see Owen because we are on a little bit of a break. Formula One returning in 2 weeks' time with the British Grand Prix. Any expectations from that?
Yay. Hamilton goes around the last corner and fucking smashes into that one, dies. But yeah, aside from that, I don't really have much.
Yeah, I think the Ferraris could actually struggle there as well, given the fact that.
Ferraris has got to stop saying Ferrari. They're going to fuck up this season and they're not going to win anything. They're going to get 12 points altogether and that's just it.
Well, I mean, yeah,
they got lucky this time, and
well, I wouldn't even say lucky. The engine. Obviously, Silverstone is a very engine dependent track, and well, Ferrari, it's kind of a case of the tortoise and the hare, except the tortoise is the SF1000 and it doesn't win. Coming from a Ferrari fan, that's gonna do us all for today. Then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time, but until then, we have a lot more content to cover, and we will see you guys.
Watch NASCAR before next week.
There you go, that's the recommendation from Mr. Owen. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone, we will see you later.
Or rallying, whatever's on.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Sometimes I feel so deaf. I'm calling on you cause I can't do it myself.